Welcome to Hogwarts. Here are 22 simple but powerful wizarding lessons to make next year your best year yet. Use them wisely and beware of the muggles. Dementor lesson. We all know what Dementors look like in the movies. The problem is, in real life, we're surrounded by them and don't even realize it. A Dementor can be a person, a place, a memory you keep replaying, or an environment that drains your energy the moment you enter it. Suddenly, you're tired, heavy, unmotivated, for no clear reason. Step 1 is noticing them. Step 2 is choosing to cast your Patronus. In real life, that means boundaries. Saying no, leaving, not engaging, protecting your energy. And if your Patronus doesn't work the first time, that's normal. Have some chocolate, regain strength, and try again. Polyjuice lesson. Polyjuice potion is what you see when you don't feel allowed to be yourself yet. Not because you want to be someone else, but because being you feels risky. In real life, this shows up when you wait for permission. At work, you soften your ideas. In relationships, you adjust your personality. You become the easier version of yourself, so no one feels uncomfortable. And it works, socially. But inside, it's exhausting. Hogwarts' lesson is quiet but brutal. Your magic weakens the longer you wait to be authentic. Polyjuice helps you survive rooms that don't fit you, but it will never build a life that feels like home. Boggart lesson. Okay, remember Boggarts? They don't actually have a form. They just become whatever freaks you out the most. That's why Lupin's lesson is so good. Neville's fear turns into Snape, not because Snape is powerful, but because Neville believes he is. Real life works the same way. Your Boggart might be asking someone out, applying for that job, or doing the thing you keep postponing. And the longer you avoid it, the bigger it feels. The trick isn't fighting it, it's changing the story. Cast ridiculous. Make it smaller, less serious. If Neville could laugh at Snape, you can definitely laugh at your fear. And take the step anyway. Horcrux lesson. Ever notice how some rooms feel heavier than others? Nothing is wrong, nothing is happening, and yet you feel stuck. That's usually not your mood. It's your environment holding things that still carry charge. In the wizarding world, a Horcrux is something that keeps part of the past active. In real life, it looks quieter. A hoodie that reminds you of someone. A gift you never use but never throw away. Old notes, screenshots, letters, souvenirs from a chapter that already ended. You keep them just in case, but every time you see them, a piece of your energy goes backward. Hogwarts' warning is simple. You can't move forward while the past still has a place to live. So, cleaning your space and letting those things go is how you destroy the Horcrux. Not with violence, but with intention. Room of requirement lesson. Remember the room of requirement? It doesn't appear randomly. It shows up shaped by what you actually need. Training, safety, focus, escape. Here's the part people miss. In real life, you're already living inside one. Look around. Your desk, your phone, your schedule, the people you're around. If your environment makes it easy to scroll, avoid, or procrastinate, that's the spell you're casting on yourself. Not because you're lazy, but because the room has been enchanted that way. The lesson isn't try harder, it's recast the setup. Remove what drains your focus and what supports the right action. Change the room, and the wizard naturally follows. Spell casting lesson. In Harry Potter, the wand helps, but the spell comes from the words. Hermione literally taught us that on day 1. It's Wingardium Leviosa, not Leviosa. Same wand, same spell, different result. Say the wrong thing often enough and magic misfires. And if you don't believe me, just ask Seamus. Real life works the exact same way. Every sentence you repeat about yourself is a spell in progress. I can't. I always fail. I'm not ready. And spells like those, they're darker than you think. Not dramatic like Avada Kedavra, but just as destructive. They don't kill bodies, they kill momentum, confidence, and dreams before they even start. So, start noticing the spells you cast on autopilot. Choose them with intention, because you're always casting something. The question is whether it protects you or quietly works against you. Occlumency lesson. Occlumency is basically emotional hygiene, but Hogwarts style. If you never close mental doors, everything sticks. Stress from work, other people's moods, old shame, future pressure, and you wonder why you feel exhausted for no clear reason. Occlumency teaches this. Not everything deserves to be processed right now. Some things need boundaries, not solutions. In real life, that means pausing before reacting, not internalizing everything, not turning every feeling into an emergency. Hogwarts knew this. Power isn't emotional numbness. It's knowing what to let in and what to keep out. Legilimency lesson. Legilimency sounds powerful until you realize how easily it works on you. If you don't guard your attention, other people do it for you. Opinions, drama, expectations, someone else's urgency suddenly becomes your problem. In Harry Potter, Legilimency works best when the other person isn't aware. Real life is the same. The moment you stop noticing where your attention goes, it gets hijacked. This lesson isn't about isolating yourself, it's about awareness. Who has access to your thoughts, your emotions, your energy? So remember, focus is a form of magic, and whatever holds it quietly shapes your life. Unbreakable vow lesson. Unbreakable vows sound epic until you realize most people make them quietly under pressure. You're unsure, you feel it in your body, but you say yes anyway to the job, the role, the relationship. That's when it becomes dangerous, because now you have to be someone you're not to survive the vow. You can polyjuice yourself for a while, but eventually it costs you energy, health, and honestly, your life. Hogwarts warns us for a reason. If saying yes feels like dying a little, it's not loyalty, it's a sentence. Mirror of Erised lesson. The Mirror of Erised shows you exactly what you want and does absolutely nothing to help you get it. People stare at it for hours, days, years, living whole lives in reflection instead of reality. That's not magic, that's avoidance with better lighting. One day I'll be happy, one day I'll start. After this phase, things will change. Dumbledore warns Harry for a reason. People don't get stuck because they lack desire. They get stuck because desire feels good enough on its own, and that's the trap. If something makes you feel fulfilled without requiring action, it might be slowing you down. Real magic doesn't happen in front of the glass. It begins the moment you step away from it. Love potion lesson. Love potions sound romantic until you remember what they actually do. They take away choice. In real life, this can look like someone subtly enchanting you, pressure to stay, guilt when you pull away, and affection that vanishes the second you set a boundary. It can feel intense, magnetic, even flattering. But if something only works when you shrink, adjust, or ignore your instincts, that's not love. Hogwarts treats love potions as dangerous for a reason. Connection without freedom isn't connection. Real love doesn't trap you. It doesn't need spells, pressure, or fear to survive. If it's real, it lets you choose freely every time. And just saying, Voldemort was literally a love potion baby. That should tell you everything you need to know. Death Eater lesson. Death Eaters never wear signs. They don't announce themselves. Most of them look normal, charming, even supportive, and that's exactly why they're dangerous. The wizarding world teaches this quietly. Not everyone around you wants your growth. Some people feel safer when you stay small, when you doubt yourself, when you don't change too much. In real life, Death Eaters are the ones who drain your energy, mock your goals, discourage your ideas, or benefit when you second-guess yourself. Sometimes it's intentional, sometimes it's not. The effect is the same. The lesson here is simple. Be selective with proximity. Not everyone deserves access to your plans, your energy, or who you're becoming. Pensieve lesson. We'd all love to have a pensieve, right? And in a way, we do. Most of us replay the same memory over and over inside our heads. A breakup, a rejection, a moment we labeled as failure. Each replay adds a new meaning, new emotion, and somehow makes it hurt more. But that's not how the pensieve is meant to work. In Harry Potter, memories are taken out of the mind so they can be observed, shared, and understood. Dumbledore even asks Harry to look at memories with him, knowing a second perspective reveals what one mind alone can't see. That's the lesson. You don't move forward by looping memories. You move forward by processing them and letting them go. Time Turner lesson. One of the most desired objects in Harry Potter is the Time Turner. Who wouldn't want one? Go back and fix that conversation. Say the right thing. Avoid hurting someone or avoid getting hurt. Maybe never meet the person who broke your heart. Maybe start sooner and go all in on your purpose earlier. And mentally, we do this all the time. We replay moments, events, rewrite the script, imagine alternate timelines, as if this time it might change something. But here's the Potterhead truth. The past doesn't bend. Just like a prophecy, the more you try to avoid it, the more you fulfill it. Hermione and Harry used the time turner, but they never changed what happened. Everything had already occurred. The magic was never back there. It's here in what you choose to do now. Marauder's map lesson. The Marauder's map shows everything, and that's the danger. You open it and suddenly you're watching other people's paths, where they are, who they're with, how fast they're moving, why they're ahead of you. In real life, one Marauder's map looks a lot like Instagram. You start tracking views, likes, progress, and timelines that aren't yours. And without noticing, you stop moving on your own. The map was never meant for comparison. It's a navigation tool. Its real question isn't, where is everyone else? It's, where are you right now? And where are you going next? You don't need more information. You need to take a step. Felix Felicis lesson. Remember the Quidditch match when Ron was absolutely terrified. He couldn't focus. He was convinced he was going to fail. So Harry pretended to give him Felix Felicis before the game. Here's the key part. Ron never drank liquid luck. It was just water. But Ron believed he did. And because of that belief, he relaxed, trusted himself, and played the best match of his life. That's the real Felix Felicis lesson. Nothing magical changed. Ron did. Belief shifted his posture, his focus, his confidence, and the outcome followed. Real life works the same way. You don't need an external potion to be lucky. You create luck by how you show up. So, whatever's on your to-do list today, walk into it like you already drank the potion. Hold on, we just got a message from Snape, and apparently you passed. Here's your Hogwarts letter. Go nuts. Alright, back to the script. Phoenix lesson. Remember how Fawkes shows up in Harry Potter? Not early, not randomly. Exactly when someone needs support to keep going. That's the Phoenix lesson. And here's the best part. Everyone has one in their life. Sometimes it's a person who appears at the right moment. Sometimes it's an idea that clicks when you're stuck. Sometimes it's a second chance, a delay, or a door opening unexpectedly. So, when things get tough, remember this. You don't need to have everything figured out. You just need to trust that you're not alone and that your Phoenix is already closer than you think. Imperius lesson. Imperius is scary because the person under the spell still moves, still talks, still functions. They just stop choosing. And honestly, a lot of us have been living like that for a while. Saying yes to things your body clearly says no to. Doing things you hate doing, muggles call them a job. Staying in a relationship that drains your soul. Waking up and thinking, is this it? That's Imperius energy. You're there, but it doesn't feel like your life. The good news is Imperius can be broken. You still have magic inside you. At first it's uncomfortable. Saying no feels wrong. Choosing yourself feels selfish. But remember, Fawkes is on your side. You're not doing this alone. You might not need a Patronus for this one, but having some chocolate definitely helps. Crucio lesson. Crucio is one of the darkest spells for a simple reason. It hurts like hell, but no one can see it. And if we're being honest, we do this to ourselves constantly. After a breakup, when we look in the mirror, when life doesn't look the way we thought it would by now, the pain stays quiet, but it grows, thought by thought, day by day, and at some point it starts to feel normal. That's how the trap works. Imperius keeps you moving on autopilot. The mirror keeps you stuck wishing. Crucio keeps punishing you for not being there yet. So, how do you fight back? You choose to stop cooperating with the spell. As Dumbledore says, it does not do to dwell on dreams and forget to live. You don't need a stronger spell. You need a different choice. One that brings you back to the present, where real magic actually happens. Deathly Hallows lesson. Okay, quick Potter refresher. Deathly Hallows? 3 of them, right? Elder Wand, Resurrection Stone, Invisibility Cloak. And honestly, the Peverell brothers already spoiled the ending for us. The Elder Wand is the I need to win energy, power, status, being untouchable. And how does that go? Constant fights, 0 peace, and sleeping with one eye open. That brother doesn't last. The Resurrection Stone is the what if I could fix the past move, bringing someone back, rewriting what already ended, refusing to let go. And yeah, that brother doesn't make it either. But the Invisibility Cloak, that's the underrated choice. Sometimes the smartest thing is staying quiet, not announcing your goals, not explaining every move, just doing the work and letting life catch up. That brother lived a long, happy life. So, be honest, which brother are you channeling right now? Avada Kedavra lesson. Avada Kedavra is the unforgivable curse that started it all. One spell, and Lily was gone. In real life, this spell shows up in two very different ways. First, we cast it on our own dreams. I'm too late. It's not for me. What's the point? We spam Avada Kedavra on our future like Filch chasing students through Hogwarts. But there's another way to understand this spell. Some things don't need fixing. They need ending. A job that's killing your energy. A relationship that no longer resonates. A version of your life that keeps you small. Maybe you don't need Avada Kedavra. Maybe a strong boundary does the same job. A real no. A clean ending. Finally letting go of what's already dead, so something new can live. Now, let's talk about all 12 Muggle events that affected the wizarding world. That's your next lesson here at Stickman Hogwarts. Click the video before Filch starts running. And if you're still here, we truly wish you a Harry New Year. This was a fun video, but jokes aside, if you actually apply these lessons, they will make a difference. And seriously, why are you still here? Click the next video, Harry Magical Year.